Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have my part 2 ready for you. Man, this is going to be intense and crazy and good. So, maybe my best information ever. So, stick around for the whole thing. Man, you will not want to miss any part of this because I'm going to link this eclipse that's coming in October 2nd, to the birth of the Antichrist and his false prophet, and also link it to iPad Goat, all kinds of crazy stuff. So I'm excited to bring this to you. I've been working my butt off. I don't have much of it left to get this out to you. And I'm finally doing it today here. And hopefully it doesn't take almost 6 hours to upload like the last my part 1 did. By the way, I'll have a link in the description box below for my part 1, so you can look at that if you haven't seen that yet. And that sets up a bunch of things about this and some other things you need to know about the timeline and other things, and things that are going to happen on the first day that I've even predicted, and stuff that's already been happening that I predicted years ago and all that. So you definitely need to watch that if you haven't yet. So please do that. Man, I'm so excited to get into this stuff. So let's get right into it here. So again, I'm the Exalted Lamb 1 on YouTube and Exalted Lamb 1 on Telegram. And my motto has always been having no part in the worthless deeds of darkness, but instead exposing them, like it says in Ephesians 5:11. You know, like it also in Revelation 13:18 with, you know, someone who talking about how if you want to find out who the Antichrist is, I'm just paraphrasing here, you need to know what 666 means. Okay, and I've talked about this for years and years, and how Stinky BO, the 44th Pres, Obama is the Mr. 666, the Antichrist. And I've shown it over 900 plus solid evidences. I'm almost to 1,000, and I don't, I don't. People wanted me to do videos of that and everything. I just pepper it in my videos, and especially, I'm gonna really hit it home this time. So, if you don't understand that right now, or you don't, I mean, I don't know why you don't. I mean, that the Pope is not, that you don't understand the Pope is a false prophet. You don't understand Obama's the Antichrist because he's behind Biden and all this kind of, I mean, how you don't know that by now? And especially if you're a Christian and supposed to have some discernment. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't get it. You should know this. And if you watch my videos, you should know this. If you still don't have that understanding and still think it's somebody else like Trumple, or you think it's, I mean, who knows who that, I mean, they don't match any of the biblical description. Stinky BO is a man and a beast because he's a clone. There's no other way. How can someone be a man and a beast? I've shared so many things over the years, and I'm going to nail it this time even more than I ever have. So I'm excited about that. So I expose what these evil people are doing behind the scenes. That's what I do. And so I've been getting a barrage last few months of ultra religious wingnuts that are so out to lunch when it comes to all kinds of issues and details, and they can't imagine that I'm showing something like iPad Goat, or they can't imagine that I'm talking about numerology, which is both good and bad, because God invented the study of numbers. That's what numerology is, the study of numbers. I mean, and numbers themselves, okay? And they get so ridiculously out of whack. If those are even real people, I mean, I'm sure there's some real people, and I'm sure it got a certain amount of designated trolls. Because I'm shadow banned so much as well with YouTube. So anyway, if you don't understand that by now, I don't know what to say. I mean, a reasonable person will understand when you bring reasonable information. You can disagree, but you got to call me a false prophet and whatever. And I've never prophesied anything, no specific dates or anything. I've said no. I've not said anything which was going to happen on this particular date or any dates. I said this looks like it can happen on these dates because that's what the numerology shows. And that's what I'm going to show you on this video. And it is rock solid, bigger than I've ever seen. So get over yourselves. And by the way, if you comment negatively on my videos, don't bother, because in 2 seconds, deleted, you're gone. This is my house, by the way, on YouTube. Even though it's a messed up house because YouTube owns it, this is my house, and you can't come in here and just say whatever you want. You're gone in 2 seconds. I won't put up with it. I'm a messenger to warn people of the crazy well, I'll say the crazy crud that's coming, okay? The horrible stuff. And that's in a timeline that I have pinned to the top of comments in this video and my part 1. In this part 2 and my part 1. So pinned to the top of comments, you'll see the whole lineup of all the technically 16 days of chaos that's going to start slow and build and go into absolute we're gonna nukes in 23 cities. Okay, I'll say it that way. Okay, and getting rid of America, Mystery Babylon in the Bible. That's it, to kick off the tribulation. Okay, so anyway, so I expose these people. That's what I do. Okay, so long explanation on that. I just want to say, I'm tired of, you just stop. All you that have your weird religious, ultra religious stuff, because you can't see the forest because of the trees are in your way, move out. And if you come against, you say your stuff, you're gone in 2 seconds. So why even waste your time? But people waste their time, and they have to be heard. The crazies have to be heard for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm here. I don't want to do this. The Lord himself, that I know, who's my Lord, my master, my friend, has petitioned me for years, since I got dreams and visions 9.5 years ago, and since then, about the horrible calamities that are coming to the United States. It's slated by the elites that run the world, the 13 families, and their antichrist that they created in a lab to basically destroy the United States completely. They've used it as a military hammer. They use it as a military, basically like Eisenhower said, it's a military-industrial complex. And that whole complex is about to be dismantled in this whole timeline that's coming. So anyway, I want to share with you some basic laws of how Freemasonry and Kabbalists work. To start off the video, so you understand. If you don't know my videos, I'm going to set some groundwork here for what I'm going to share. The Kabbalist rule of Kalel states that one digit can be added to or subtracted from the gematria value of a word without affecting its value. This seems to modern ears to be a cheat. However, the Kabbalists explain the rule by pointing out that for them, one was not a number. The monad symbolizes the divinity and could come and go as he pleased, adding nothing and taking nothing away. So I don't really ever add a one. I usually take one away. Add one usually. If I add one, I take it from another reverse or a regular gematria of the gematria I'm using. And I'll show you what I mean here. The other thing I want to mention is that 0 is hiding O. When if you're going to go to room, if you're in college, you're going to room English 101, room 101. Most people say 101, they don't say 101, because we were programmed to say that. And think of and say it as O. And guess who's O? Obamazles. Okay, so he's O, and that's why it's that way. So 0 is hiding O, and O, of course, is the 15th letter of the alphabet, and 1 plus 5 is also 6. So it's O's can be 15 or 6 or even 6 being O, because it's 1 plus 5 is 6, is hiding 2 plus 4, or this year, 24. They rarely ever use 2024. They do sometimes, and I've shown that in several videos this year, how they're using 2024 sometimes. It's harder because it's harder to show the whole date, including the 20 and the 2024. So you just do 24 or hide it in a 6 or hide it in an O or 15, whatever. Okay, so, and then I want to also explain the rule of nines, if you don't know about this. So here's a scene of the 11th day attack that's coming, that came back then in 2001, 9, 1, and then 1. See the plane right there? Anyway, this is the little silhouette of that. But if you add 9 to this, okay, you have this event, right? And so 9 plus 1 plus 1 is back to 11. So anything you add 9 to stays the same. Okay, so that I want you to understand that. Also, they believe in the people. They're really demons that work in the elite. And then they have their minions all the way down the line in government and in media and entertainment, all that kind of stuff. And they hide all this stuff. The demonic, someone who's demonically possessed, to some degree, okay? Sometimes people just get influenced by thoughts and stuff. Sometimes they're full on possessed by a demon or whatever. And then these demons run all this stuff for years, and they go through all these people like toilet paper, and then, and then they'll kill them off, and they go to somebody else and whatever. And they're all a hive mind of demons, and they planning this for so long, for thousands of years, and now they're coming up to what they want. We want the world and we want it, just like Jim Morrison said, we want the world and we want it now. And they want that. That's them screaming through him. They want it now, but they have to go through a process of enslaving mankind through these processes, including the hokey pokey that came a few years ago. And we'll just wait till what comes very soon in here anyway. So they hide things in plain sight, and they do that through opposites and black and white, also, or just opposites in general. Backwards, you see backwards spelled backwards. And then you have upside down and backwards. That's very common in all kinds of ways. These kinds of concepts, they're hidden in plain sight. So people can't see, like on a movie poster, something might be upside down and backwards, and it might be a hidden devil horns and 666 or something. But people looking at it, consuming it, they have no idea, they're whatever, but it's programming them somehow, okay? With dates, with concepts, with ideas, beliefs, all kinds of stuff, and taking people down a funky path that they want them to go down. That's called predictive programming. Okay, so like I said in my first video, the timeline is, I'm showing it right here, the first 2 days, and then I'm going all the way to the last 2 days. And the first 2 days, this date has a partial eclipse. And that's in symbolism in iPad Go, and I'm going to show you in a second, like I showed in the first video, my part 1. But I'm going to expand on this quite a bit more here. So then 10-2 is this annular eclipse. And I showed how these different characters literally have that on their cheek. That is they have a reddish round cheek, and that's from the blood moon combined with the annular eclipse. You literally see an annular eclipse circle around here, okay, and that's together. That's what that's showing. I'm just telling you, that's what the Lord eventually showed me with my perception. I finally see that where this matches up. I finally see down the road 9+ years. There's where this matches up. It's crazy. And then I shared how Obama winks is the first, and gematria is first and last. That's in my first video. Is the numerology for the first day and the last day right here. Boom and boom. But also, check this out. His former name, Barry Soetoro, is clearly 9-8 in reverse English Sumerian and English Sumerian. By the way, English Sumerian is 6 times regular English. So regular English is A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. English Sumerian is times 6. So A equals 6, B equals 12, C equals 18, and so on and so forth. And then this is reverse. They like to use these in tandem. Most people don't know this. Most people do gematria, YouTube videos and such. They don't know most of what the Lord showed me. It's kind of frustrating because I like to learn from some people, and most of them I'm far ahead of. And a lot of them actually I've talked to, and they don't like me because they don't like either my date setting, they call it. Even though I don't set dates, I say these could happen on these days. Who knows? But I'm giving you a heads up, people a heads up. And I think I'm probably going to finally nail it this time. So, or whatever, or they're too arrogant, or they don't want to share credit, or I want to collaborate with some of these people, and I have for years, and work it out together. And they usually have an ego or whatever. And I'm like, I'm just here to warn people. That's it. I don't care. I didn't even care when I asked for donations. I'd rather do a job. I don't want your money. I don't want to ask for your money. That's the last thing I want to do. I just want to warn people because that's what the Lord's commissioned me to do for so many years, because horrible stuff is about to come to your neighborhood and your world and your country, and it's horrible. And I've seen dreams and visions of this stuff, and it's not nice. It's destructive, and anyway, if you want to have any idea what this stuff is, if you don't know, look at my timeline that's pinned to the top of comments. Right here, and it's a good example how this is reverse and this is forward, but this is showing the first day, which is over here. Look at that, 9-18, and then 10-2, 10-2, and then this is the year. So this is 10-2 and 3, 2 days and 2 days. But this is showing the very first day. This is showing one of the last days. They're doing this quite a bit because the numerology fits for this and everything. So many things. It's uncanny. 10-2, and then 6, like I said, is hiding 2 plus 4. Keep going here. Okay, now let's roll through this. Okay, so this is the ring of fire around the Pacific Ocean. And the ring of fire is either subtly or not subtly hinting to a birth. I've had 4 children with my wife, okay, and one of the things that it's called when your child is coming out is the ring of fire. They're feeling women are feeling the burn, okay? Get it? Ring of fire. And right in the center of that, which is a 4 volcano altar, okay? I used to have a picture of that. I should have asked my friend that had that picture probably. Oh, anyway, I couldn't find what I had. I couldn't find it. It was quite crazy. But it's a 4-horned altar, or just like, it's crazy. And they're literally going to cause a tsunami that's going to kill millions of people. And then a couple days later is going to be this eclipse that goes right over this. I'm going to show you in a second. So this is called the Ring of Fire. Okay, right, and Hawaii is right in the center, like a birth canal. This is a birth canal here, and this is a birth area. Okay. And then this is also called, not only is this called the Ring of Fire, because it's got all these volcanoes all around the Pacific and everything, this is called a Ring of Fire. So you have a Ring of Fire and a Ring of Fire, birth symbolism. Okay, and Ring of Fire is these numbers. Now watch, what are these? 6 plus 4 is 10, and then 2, and then 9 plus 7 plus 8 is 24. 10 to 24. Oh, what a coinky dink. That exactly matches that. I'm going to show you so many so-called coincidences that it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And if you still believe that coincidences, you got to check yourself. I mean, you really have to check yourself, because only a culture that watches movies, which is nothing but coincidence after coincidence after coincidence, who's been programmed to believe that coincidence is a normal thing, because you can't watch most movies at all and not have coincidence after coincidence, because then there will be no plot that keeps moving most of the time, especially in an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever. I don't know if you understand that, but that's how it works. People have been programmed to coincidence after coincidence after coincidence. I mean, I can give you all kinds of examples, but anyway, hopefully you can figure that out yourself. Boom, look, Barack Hussein Obama equals 163,978. Boom. He exactly equals Ring of Fire. And that's a coincidence? No, it's not. And there's another one. Okay, now go over here. This thing right here is generally called a solar eclipse. And what is this? 8 plus 4 is 12. Okay? And 12 is made up of 10 plus 2. When you they like to compress numbers and decompress numbers. That's how they hide things. They compress them and decompress them. Or you can compress them or decompress them. That's how they hide things. Okay, and then remember this 0 is an O, and O is hiding 15, or 1 plus 5 is 6, or 6 is 2 plus 4. 10 to 24. Solar eclipse just happens to be that, and that's also a Ring of Fire. And Ring of Fire is also 10 to 24. These have been designed for this time. Okay, these words, these symbols, it's all predictively programming the future here, and the time is coming. And then more specifically, not only is this an annular eclipse in general, a solar eclipse, sorry. It's an annular solar eclipse. And that is, if you flip that upside down and backwards, again, upside down and backwards, you literally have 1, 0, as in October, 2nd, and then 6 is hiding 2 plus 4. And that's another massive off the charts coincidence? No, I don't think so. And then this guy's name matches Ring of Fire with the middle name. This guy's name that most everybody knows without this middle name, exactly backwards of this. 804 and 408 in exactly the same English Sumerian. And his name also equals solar eclipse backwards. And that's a coincidence? Nope. And then also, he was born on 8/4 or August 4th or 4th of August. And that's in solar eclipse and that. Which is watch this, backwards 21/6. He was born on the 21 and 6, the 216th day of the year, 4th of August. 216th day of the year, August 4th. And this is all a coincidence. It has to do with birth and the exact numbers of his birth and all that stuff. And he's from Hawaii, supposedly. He was born in Hawaii, supposedly, and all that. Please. What's right here with this eclipse path? So this is the Ring of Fire. Just imagine what you saw with the Ring of Fire that was all over here, the birthing area, right? And now you have a birth sliding out. Boom, birth. This is symbolism in so many ways. Numbers, imagery, predictive programming, so many things. It's crazy. There's something right here. Well, that's a full eclipse. Oh, that's a full eclipse. And right here. So this is called Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, what the natives apparently called it. Okay, at least that's what they say. I mean, this is also this name right here, which translated from their language, is literally the numbers of 10 to 24. All these things are. It's just, I'm going to show you about 10% of the stuff I have, and hopefully it's the best. It's not just the best, or not necessarily all the best. It's the best combined with the message I have to share. The Lord's guiding me to share. So I might have some stuff that's pretty good that I haven't shown in here, like how the Revelation 12 sign that happened in 9/23/2017 is an extension of is the first one, and then the second one is the one that's happening on 10/2, this annular eclipse right here, and that is the birthing coming out. Verse 1 is the sign that we saw in 2017, September 23rd. And then this one is the baby coming out, the crowning, which is the basis, like I said in my first video, of coronazals and the coronation of a king. Corona, like the beer and all that kind of stuff. That name, this is what this is, a corona. It's a ring of fire. It's a crowning of a baby coming out. Okay, this is all symbolism of the birth of the Antichrist and his false prophet. I'm going to prove that on this video as best I can. This is going to be insane. Watch this. Okay, so the point of the greatest eclipse is right here, and just down from it a little bit is this Easter Island. Okay, now watch this. Okay, boom, there it is. Okay, now watch. This is where that maximum eclipse, basically, or Easter Island is, okay? What's over here? Right up here. That's Honolulu, Hawaii. Right on the edge of this partial eclipse right here. We're still going to get a good eclipse. This is even super partial over here. That's the full-on eclipse. This is somewhat partial, and this is super partial. But right here, this little island right here is Oahu, with Honolulu, Hawaii, the capital, okay? And who was born here? Oh, that jackwagon. And then it goes like this, so it's a birth. It's a symbol of a birth. It's going like this, sliding out, woo, of the birth canal. Ring of fire, birthing, crowning, whatever, all this stuff right here. Sliding down the slide, and then right here goes through this, and right up here is what? Right there is Buenos Aires, Argentina. The birthplace of who? This jackwagon right here. Oh, they're not related. They're not, when they got together in 9/23/2015 in the United States, nothing happened. When God told me that it was going to be, it represented the eventual end of the United States, and that's coming this 9/23 all the way to 10/2. Look out. Okay, that's a massive coincidence. This is off the charts right here, folks. It really is. It's off the charts, folks. Okay, and then look how this is right at the edge of this, and this is right at the almost the exact same spot on the edge of this partial eclipse area here. Look at this. Boom, boom, okay? I mean, it's crazy. And then this is the max view of the eclipse from Honolulu, Hawaii at this time. Okay, right here. Now watch. Is this a coincidence that the max view from Buenos Aires, where the Pope is from, the false prophet, is exactly opposite? That's another massive off-the-charts coincidence. You know what this reminded me right away, and I was completely right about it, was the googly eyes from the Cookie Monster. And again, it's a monster. It's colored a certain way. It's kind of purplish. And Obama's a monster, and he's purple. He represents purple. It's in so many things. The Black Panther lights up, and he's purple. And I mean, all these different things out there I've shared over time. Ultraviolet and purple. And iPad Cody's got an ultraviolet tassel, which is a version of purple. It's all over the place. Watch this. So Cookie Monster, okay, and the cookie thing is also representing, as well as it represents children, and he consumes children. I had an unfortunate dream. It was from the Lord, and I wasn't too happy about it, but he gave it to me anyway. He's given me amazing and phenomenal, awesome, awe-inspiring dreams and stuff too, but he's also given me some really horrible stuff. And one of the things was Obama consuming children, sucking the life out of them and throwing them in a corner. And it was... Yeah, it still affects me. Still affects me. I have children. When you have children, it's a little bit different, I think. If you know what that's like. If you don't, you don't really understand until you have children what it's like. I think, anyway. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. But he's a cookie monster. Okay, he's the monster. The kids are synonymous with cookies. Anyway, so look at this. Oh, 18-9. 18-9. Oh, what a coincidence. 1 plus 2 is 12. 12 is made up of 10 and 2. And then 6 is 24. Get it? And then look at over here. Cookie and monster. Look at this. 104-85. 104 on the outside. Again, a mirror. 104 and 104. And then 85 is in a different way a mirror. 85 and 58 over here. And they just have to be related that way? I mean, are you kidding me? Now watch this. 104 plus 85 is 189, or 18th of September. And 58 plus 104 is 162, or again, right there, 162, just like when you put them both together. That's a coincidence? No, I don't think so. 162. The reason and you may think, oh, Cookie Monster, that's so stupid. Well, you know, you're going to bring this as relating to the Antichrist. It just shows you how it's in culture. And I'm going to show you many ways that are going to blow your mind if you have somewhat of an open mind. If you have a closed mind and you're just, you know, down on God, or you're an ultra-religious wingnut, then you won't understand any of this. You won't understand the logic of the Lord Jesus himself and the realism of the Lord, and how he reveals what the enemy's doing through these things, okay? And even Cookie Monster, okay? It's something simple like that, okay? And it's going to get more complex. Watch this. So that's just like I showed you here. 1 plus 2 is 12. 12 is 10 and 2. 1 plus 2, sorry. 1 and 2 together is 12. And 12 is hiding 10 and 2, and then 6 is 24. I mean, look, this keeps popping up. 8, 9, 1, to see that? Okay, and then now add these two together, and you get 351. What's that? That's the day the Pope was born. The 351st day of the year in 1936. And that was December 17, 1936, was the 351st day of the year. And that's another coincidence, another coinky dink. And by the way, this is backwards 2 and then 16, and Obama was born on the 216th day of the year. But watch this. So when you take this plus this, you get that. Now you go like, you're going to go this plus this, but go this way. Go backwards. So 261 plus 981 equals 1242. Again, what is that? That is 12. 12 is hiding 10 and 2. August 2nd, 24 backwards. August 2nd, 24. So check this out. We literally have backwards 216, the day Obama was born, 216, the 216th day of the year, and the day of the year the Pope was born, and we have the first day of the timeline, and we have the last day of the timeline. We have the first day in 9/18, the last day in 10/2/24. Hopefully that makes sense. Crazy. Now look at this. That's why it reminded me of this in the first place, because I remember this predictive programming for 9, 1, and then 1 that happened in 2001. This was in 1976. I mean, that is crazy. That is 25 years, roughly. 25 years and a month or something like that. A month and a few days, and 10 days, something like that, before 9, 1, and then 1 happened. And these things are being attacked. And go on your own. Just so you know, you can correlate these, a couple of these crunches or these bites with where those planes actually hit. I mean, there's a couple that actually match up. That's on. You could do that on your own if you want, or not, whatever. And by the way, the monsters are loose. So this correlates. This was a predictive program for what's going to happen in the future with these attacks on 9, 1, and then 1. I have to say it in code on YouTube because they'll ban me even more than they're already shadow banning me, but whatever. But I have to do that, or they'll get whatever, or they'll give me a warning, and then I'll be gone. Like they've done in the past. They've literally taken several of my videos off my channel because they didn't meet the exact thing that the what do you call it? The it's called the narrative that they want out there. I contradict their narrative all the time. Okay, anyway. So this attack here is related to this attack here. See this eclipse right here? Oh, what imagine that. So this date, this magazine, the Sesame Street magazine, October 1st, 1976, was released to this actual event that this particularly programming of 2001, 9, 1, and then 1, okay, is 1,301 weeks. Well, so what? Okay, well, I'll show you in a minute. And then that's also the same as 9,111 days. So see that 9, 1, and then 1 in here? See that? Okay, again, predictive program, not just in imagery, but also in numerology here. Check this out, okay? Crazy. Now, even more is going on here than you can imagine. So remember, O, or 0 is O, and O could be 15 or 6, or even 25 and 2 plus 4, but in this case, 6. So you have 1, 3 plus 6 is 9, 1. 1, 9, 1. What's that? 9, 1, and then 1, right here. It's also hiding 1 from 3, just like in Roman numerals. I from X, or 1 from 10 is 9. 1 from 3 is 2. So you have backwards 10, 2 right here. 10-2, and then that is the symbol for 10-2. We have a symbol for an attack on 9-1-1 with these two, obviously the two towers and all that, and then we have this symbolism right here. So this is both this and this hidden. Okay, and then down here, obviously this is 9. I've said this many times that a slash can be a 1 or a slash. So 9/111 is 9111. Look at that. See what that's hiding? And then this is also this too, because watch, 9 plus 1 is 10, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Again, that's on there again. See that? How this works is crazy. It's all over. And this is just one stupid little example. I agree, it's stupid. I agree. They do stupid and childish things. But it is a good example, and I think I've nailed it here. And wait till you see more about this. It's insane. So I've used this Strong's Concordance for a long time, for almost 33 years. More of the stuff I do now is digital, but I still have this book here, and I use Strong's quite a bit. I have used it anyway. And this is a guy named Dr. James Strong. Okay, and I'm going to get into something that makes sense here in a second. Dr. James Strong. Now, at first I thought, okay, now God can work in anything. Okay, he works in a donkey talking to somebody. Okay, he can work in the evil stuff, and he can have his messages in evil, and he can do all kinds of stuff. But the bottom line is, I was hoping this guy was above board, and they put all this stuff with altruism and God's love and all that stuff. But more study and research I've done on him, and I could do more, the more I realize he's a Freemason, and it's very clear. And one of the examples of that, and I could show you a lot more that would make the case, that his name here that he was known for mostly, Dr. James Strong, exactly matches this jackwagon right here. This is very common. I've shown all kinds of disaster names like earthquake and comet and all kinds of things. They all match. It's one of his names, one of this jackwagon's names. I've shown it so many times. Nobody's name. And I know a lot of different names, and I've done gematria on a lot of different people that even are all the candidates for the Antichrist. Every one of them that's out there that people have had, and people have some new ones here and there. This guy and this thing and that concept and this, whatever. And I'll run stuff, and they don't come up as very much matching certain things. Sometimes they do, but Stinky Bill is number one, uno, with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And it's all over. It's so obvious to me that the fact that people can't see what's obvious in front of their face, I guess I get inspired by the Lord Jesus, to see all these things. And it's all about being in the mind of Christ. It's like if you're, there's a lot of people that either claim to be Christian or think they're Christian and they're necessarily not. They haven't necessarily done they haven't given their heart over completely or whatever. Or even people who are, and then they're in the world and stuff, and they're not doing what he's telling them to do, and they're not following him. You have to submit to him. And when you submit to him, that's a requirement for tapping into the mind of Christ. It's all over the Bible. I could do a great study on that. I could show, it's just not what I'm called to do. I've been studying the Word, doing biblical research for 33 years. I know Greek and Hebrew, and I mean all kinds of stuff. And it's crazy. But it's not what he wants me to do. He wants me to do this kind of stuff because he knows that he can inspire me, and I have certain abilities and stuff like that in these, and to get the point to the mass. And then who I talk to is a cross section of people, anywhere from ultra religious wingnuts to people that absolutely put their fist up to God all the time or whatever. So it's everybody in between, or if there is an in between, if those are the spectrum or whatever. I'm just giving an example here, but I don't pigeonhole anybody. I don't peg anybody. I've been pegged all the time in my life. I don't peg it. I just love people. I don't care who you are, where you've been, where you are. I just love you, and God loves you. That's it. And I'm warning everybody. I'm warning anybody and everybody, telling you what's coming. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you believe it. If you believe in God or not, it doesn't matter. The enemy wants you dead. And he wants you soulless. He wants you to take the mark and have no chance. Okay, that's it. That's his game, and God has another game. He has another that's more serious. He says there's death and there's life. Choose life. He says there's death and there's life. Choose life. Don't choose the wrong path. Don't choose like the Led Zeppelin teaches. Don't choose talking about the Piper's path. The Pied Piper of Hamelin, right? Or whatever. Anyway, so, yeah, crazy weird reference. Anyway, So then watch this. What am I getting to here? Now, there's a reason for this. So Strong's Concordance. By the way, Concordance is a study aid for the King James Version of the Bible, and it has the list of all the words in the Bible. It's pretty thick, and their definitions and every single word and their definitions and other things. So it's a very good way to study the word and then know the original these words original Greek word the original Greek word for the word, the original Hebrew word, and then their meanings and stuff. But anyway, without getting into all that, okay. So if you take Stinky Bo's birth date, August 4th, and equate it to 84, and then you take the Pope's birthday of December 17th, and you make it 1217. And by the way, I have a ton of these kinds of things, and they're all mind-blowing, but these are some of the best ones I'm going to share. And I'm not going to do a 5-hour video on it, okay? I don't have the time for it, and I'm just going to make my points here. So when you add these two together, you get, and that equals 1301. Now, you just saw that earlier, but I'm just going to keep going. Watch this. 1301, okay, ready that. That is Barak in Strong's Concordance. Just happens to match Barak. And Barak means flash of lightning. By the way, and if you don't know this, in Luke, Jesus said in Luke 10:18, I see Satan as lightning falling from heaven, or Barak Ubama, lightning from heaven, Barak Ubama. So we have Barak. Okay, we have that. Okay, now we're going to take Obama's year he was born, 1961, which we're going to equate it to 1961, the number 1961, and then we're going to add that to the year the Pope was born, 1936. We're going to add these two up, and that equals 3,897, okay? Now, when I'm used to this, you're not used to this maybe, but I'm used to compressing and decompressing numbers automatically and looking at things backwards and all that kind of stuff, everything that they do. I don't do that as far as my own life, but I do that to decode what they're doing. And also, God taught me that way to teach me how they do stuff so I can read. I read their mail. I read their stuff. I read in articles and stuff, and even all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's crazy. It's like, because that's how they communicate to each other secretly, backwards, upside down, backwards thing in gematria and stuff. I'll look at something sometimes. It's like in the movie Matrix when Cypher says, "I don't see the code anymore. I see a blonde, brunette, or redhead." Like I look through the code, I look through the words, and I see the numbers, and I see the details. A lot of times, it's crazy. The Lord just gives me the sight beyond sight. It's really insane sometimes. I mean, sometimes it goes right by me, a lot of times, but sometimes it really hits. I know what I'm seeing. Like I knew what this was right away. 3 plus 8 is 11, and 9 plus 7 is 16. That's when you can reduce these. You just reduce these, or you compress them. They're called compressing numbers. So that's what this is, 1116. So, and that equals Bama, a high place. Okay, so basically, you add the month and day of both these jackwagons that I just showed you with the eclipse and their years, and you have this number, and then this is just, you can't really reduce this anymore. I mean, this is fully reduced, and this one you got to reduce down to 3 plus 8 is 11, 9 plus 16. So 1301 and 1116 just happens to be Barack Obama. Say that fast, Barack Obama. Most people think you're saying Barack Obama. Okay, Barack Obama. I mean, and that's a massive, off the charts, ridiculous, 1 in a quadrillion, quintillion, zillion. Yeah, right, sure. And then again, these two match, they're reverse of each other on that same eclipse, and that's where they were both born. Okay, because remember this guy here? That's what I said, the googly eyes or the funky eyes, one on either side, was facing in the middle. Again, that's a mirror of each other in a sense, because one's a little bit higher, one's a little bit lower, but in a sense, they're opposites of each other exactly. Okay, now watch this. Remember the 1301, Barak? You take that, you flip it upside down and backwards. You got 1301 and 1116 right there in these two dates, from this date to that date, the release of this to this event, and you have these two numbers, and that again is that again. And that's coincidence? Wow. Now let's going to take their names so you have Pope Francis, okay, and then you have Barack Obama. So what people know them by en masse, mostly billions of people, okay. So now let's take their two first names. So that would be Barack with Barack Obama, and then Pope is in Pope Francis. So take the first two names. Okay, watch. That's 9. See the 9 right there? 1 plus 2 plus 8 plus 2 plus 5 is 18. Now let's take their last names, in a sense. Obama and Francis. And what is that? obviously 10-2 right there is obvious you can be. Most things aren't this obvious, but once in a while you get that because that's just how the numbers work. And then 22 plus 2 is 24. So we literally have 918 and 10-2, 24. And when you combine their names like this, and that's a coincidence? I don't think so. Now, watch, this is crazy. I have a bunch of crazy ones. I just don't have the time to get into it because I'm trying to make a point with this whole video. I can just sit here and show you all the things that you can add their other parts of their numbers and stuff, and you get their birth dates, and I mean, it's nuts. Or a bunch of things about Stinky BO because he's the main dude. It is insane, off the charts. And I'm telling you, if you knew what I knew, you would know that these guys are it. I mean, there's no question, and nobody else comes close, period. And I'm talking, I have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of data. Thousands. I mean, what I'm showing you is of all the videos I've done for 6.5 years, well, 6+ years, and then all that research for each one over that whole time, and then you add them all up and all the stuff I don't show, I mean, it is thousands upon thousands of hours and detail, and then those hours and all the details in all those hours. Anyway, I have so much. I could literally do a 10-hour video on just these jackwagons and how they match up, and I'm going to show you some of that. So watch this. This is on his birth certificate, and this was on his birth. This is what the Pope's full name is, Jorge Mario Bergoglio. By the way, that's Bear, Gog, and Lion. Gog and Magog, Bear, Gog, Lion. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that. The Gog-Magog war is going to involve the bear and the lion. Anyway, that's all. There's so much in here. Super Mario, he's Super Mario, and Super Mario dies and comes back to life. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, boing. I mean, there's so much in all this. He's Super Mario, by the way. And because he's a pope, that's super. Hello to a lot of people. I think he's a jackwagon myself. And he's a complete demon that looks like a person. And whoever this guy was, he's gone a long time ago. He's way down low, deep somewhere. I've dealt with demons, man, and I've cast them out in Jesus' name. People say, oh, it's Yeshua. No, it's not. It's Yahushua, by the way. More technically, look it up. And it's not Yeshua. It's Jesus for me, because that's the American version. And by the way, I've used Jesus many times, and it's cast out demons, and it's healed people. And the Lord's confirmed to me that he's fine with me using Jesus. And if you don't understand that, wow, again, ultra-religious wingnut. So if the shoe fits, and for a lot of you that listen, you could keep it to yourself. But no, an ultra-religious wingnut doesn't. They have to tell you. They have to get on your channel, and they have to tell you how much they think they know, and they know jack. They may know some stuff, and that's puffed up their brains. Listen, I know that I don't know what I need to know. I know what I need to. I know enough, okay? The more I know, the more I realize how much I don't know, and I try to stay humble like that. And guess what? With doing something like this kind of as in a sense of job and ask for donations, I stay as humble as pie. Man, I have no ego whatsoever, because I have to wait on the Lord every single month for money to cover things. And sometimes it goes to the very day of. How can I be arrogant or prideful at all? I mean, I was when I was young. I was a prideful idiot when I was in my 20s. Lord just sapped that out of me. He destroyed it. He nuked it. Boom, nuked it, man. Just nuked it. And anyway, moving on. So watch this. You put these two together, this on both their birth certificates. Okay, you have, what's this? 9. 1 plus 3 is 4, and 4 is made up of 2 and 2s. That's hiding. Oh, sorry, let's do this. Let's do this obvious one. 23rd of September 23rd. And then this is 9, and then 4, and 4 is hiding 2 and 2. So this is what this is hiding. So 922, 923. I wonder what that has to do with these two guys, huh? Wonder. And then we have right here, 6 plus 4 is 10, and then we have 10, and then we have 2. 10, 2. And then what's this? In this situation, we're going to cross off the 9, because anything you add 9 to is the same. 22 plus 2 is 24. So we literally have this day of this eclipse, right? And we also have 922 and 923. However, this is not just 24, because you can also use this 9. You could take the 9 away and make it 24. But let's use this 9. You go 2 plus 2 plus 9 plus 2 is 15. So this is 9, 22, and 9, 23, 2015. And 10, 2, 24. How does it relate to both these jackwagons right here? Well, watch. 922, he came off his stupid jet, and they met each other supposedly for the first time. I don't buy it. Okay, and then 9/23/2015 is right in the middle because that was the year they both went out to the public and at the White House. Boom, boom, boom. See, there you go. Look at that. See that? See that? And see that? I mean, I'm slaying it. Sorry. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just saying. Okay. And then look, the Pope, I've shared this before, but I'll be sharing more details about this, is the Bishop of Rome. That is his main title. Look, it's above all these other. Look at Supreme Pontiff, Roman Pontiff, Sovereign Pontiff. Oh my goodness, I best bow down to you. Oh, I think not. No, I don't bow down to demon-inspired idiots. No, I don't. I don't. I follow the Lord Jesus and his God, and that's it. Boom. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's it. Okay, so anyway, Bishop of Rome, in these, it's really in 21 ciphers of gematria that I know of, but I'm just showing you right here 12 to make it nice and clean right here. So there's a 12 ciphers of gematria, including Satanic, Frank Baconus, Francis Bacon, reversing, I mean, all these different ones here. And there's 9 others that I know of, okay? And then Bishop of Rome, remember that's his main title, exactly equals false prophet. And this is the same amount of letters too. Same number of letters. Okay, and that exactly equals that. I mean, that's impossible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and that has 12 as well. Okay, 5 and 7. I mean, what? That if I'm sorry, if you don't understand the gravity of this, then I'm going to show you, and hopefully you still understand this. For a lot of people, numbers go over their head, and I understand that to a degree. Of course, I'm a student of numbers. I have been my whole life, but I could do all kinds of engineering, all that kind of stuff, but that would be boring. But I would do whatever the Lord tells me, basically. But I mean, before I knew the Lord, I would do something with numbers probably somehow, but it'd probably be super creative or whatever. Anyway, like this. But he's kind of dragged me, kicking and screaming to this for years. But hey, he's worthy to be served. I can't do anything else but what my Lord tells me to do or asks me to do. So he's told me many times I could leave any time. But then he's like, well, what about this? And he showed me something absolutely incredible off the charts. And then I'm like, okay, Lord, I can't go. Okay, I get it. Anyway, so remember these. So these are the 12 that match each other. There's another 9. So if you take each one has 26 letters in a cipher, and then times 21 gematrias that I know, ciphers of gematria, you literally have the chance of that matching that is 1 in that. Forget that what it's called, a centillion or no, it's something else. I forget what it's called now. That many numbers, and see the 444 for Lucifer. See the 1776 in here. There's all kinds of crazy stuff in here. Oh, there's so much in here. It's crazy. And maybe that's all the gematrias that are known, because those are the ones I know of. Maybe there's a few more, but and all the ones are known, and there's some crazy numbers in here. But that many. I mean, look at how many quadrillion, gazillions numbers there are. Okay. And so what that means is, I'll just say it very clearly, that's impossible. This is planned. So this guy is this guy. Okay? And if you don't get this, I'm sorry, but I've proven it. You cannot disprove this. You can't. Many things I'm going to show you cannot disprove. Okay? Like this, and you cannot disprove what's coming. Now watch, Bishop of Rome, and then another one of them is Supreme Pontiff. Watch this. False prophet equals not only, and we're just going to use 2 ciphers of gematria because false prophet doesn't also. Wow. Okay, let me speak a little bit better. Okay. It's hard when I'm also a bit tired and stuff, so sometimes to speak for a while, I gotta just take stock of what I'm saying here. Okay. Okay. Anyway, let me go back. So false prophet equals bishop. By the way, I'm doing this live. I do my slides, and then I just speak. I don't edit anything. A lot of people out there, they edit stuff, and they make themselves look all perfect. See, they make themselves look perfect and everything. I just go right off the cuff here every single time. And so false prophet equals in just 2 ciphers, because these 2 ciphers are very important. Bishop of Rome and Supreme Pontiff. Wow, Supreme Pontiff. And why are these 2 ciphers important? Well, first of all, this is 6 times that, that's 6 times that, that's 6 times that. Okay, right? But also watch this. So again, so do you understand this? 1 plus 883 is 84. Again, that is Obama's birthday. Remember you saw 804 or 408 before? That's Obama's birthday. And of course it has to do with his birth, because 8 plus 4 is 12, and 12 is hiding 10 plus 2. And so we have right here. So that's from this. And we're just working it out. So you can see how I work it out from there. And we're pointing to both of these because that's 9/18 the first day, that lunar eclipse day, and then 10/2 the other eclipse, the annular eclipse day. See, first day, last day. Boom. He is the guy. He's this guy, and he's this guy. And the numbers prove it. So let me share you something else here if you don't know about this. I've shared this in the past, but I've given a little more details on some of this. Stinky B.O. Basically submitted his stuff to run for president on January 16, 2007. And then it was reported, the reporting day, everything happens in 2 days. It reported on January 17, 2007. So if you go January 17, 2007, when he was reported to be running for president, then you add 666 months, 666 weeks, and 666 days. Very, very symmetrical here. Very symmetrical and very solid. You get the day or you subtract this from that, these from this date, you get the day the Pope was born. And, there's the Pope on Time Magazine. Do you see the little horns here? See, because he's a monster. He's a devil. See that? There's little subtle things like this they do all the time. Little horns right there. Yep, he's a devil. He's not the devil. He's a devil. He's a wannabe Antichrist. So he's going to be his false prophet. And then on the other side of this, so we had Pope's birth to the Obama running for president, or him being president, as a version of him being president, running for president, starting the process of running for president. And then you have Obama's birth to how do these two come together? How do you go from Obama's birth to Francis becoming Pope on this exact day? Well, you just add a little bit of 6 years, 66 months, 666 weeks, 6,666 days, 66,666 hours, 666,666 minutes, and 6 minutes, 666,666 seconds. And you collate those to days, and you get from there to there. That's impossible. Disprove it. I dare you. You can't, because I've done the work. That's impossible. And you have this, and you have that, and those are just two things of the 900 plus solid evidence, is almost to 1,000 that I have, and nobody can come close to. Nobody. And all the people go, oh, man, this guy, Trump is the Antichrist, even though he's white and he's not Assyrian, and we don't know how he's a beast, and we don't know this, but he said I'm the chosen one, and he said this or that, and that makes him the Antichrist, because he's leading people astray. Well, he's serving the Antichrist. He's not the Antichrist in any way. He doesn't fit any of the biblical description. Maybe a couple little tiny things, that's it. But if you actually read the full biblical description of the Antichrist, Stinky B.O. is the only one, bar none, period. And if you don't understand that, I'm sorry, you just don't know the Bible, you don't know facts. There's a weird thing called facts, and those things, they tell the truth. Especially if you add all these facts up, and not perceived facts, real facts. When you actually research and look and dig into things, not only the Bible, which is massively huge, also knowing Jesus is massively huge, and then using that, the Bible knowledge and knowing Jesus knowledge, to find the actual truths and to decipher what's truth and what's a lie. And you put all that together and you get truth. That's how it works. Sorry, but that's how you do it. Not how a lot of people perceive it, their truth, or their perceived truth. Okay, it's like the Bible. The Bible says it's of no private interpretation. Okay, but people privately interpret it all the time. Hey, I'm not saying that I have 100% understanding, but I use other scriptures to support other scriptures. I use context. There's all kinds of things you can use to support what it's saying that most people don't even have any clue about. And that's why I spent 33 years studying and finding out what are those keys that it can interpret itself, and what are things that are red herrings that throw things in the way, and what are lies, and get through the lies and get to the good nuggets of truth. Anyway, hope that makes sense. So literally the Pope was actually elected on 2 days, the March 12th and March 13th. He was technically made Pope on the 12th, and then it was announced on the 13th. Again, all these things are 2 days. So regarding that, from Obama, the first day Obama became president, technically, okay, he was elected earlier, the previous year, of course, in November. But then from that day, Obama technically became president and got all the power of the president to the day the Pope became the Pope is 1,512 days. Okay, why is that a crazy number? Because if you go backwards, you can do 2 plus 1 is 3, 51, and that's the day the day of the year the Pope was born. Or you can do 2, 1, 5 plus 1 is 6, and that's the day Obama was born. And so it just happens to be that when you go from the day Obama was the president to the day that Pope became president, or became Pope, sorry, Jorge Mario Bergoglio became Pope, and that equals, and then literally out of those backwards, again, backwards, remember there I said backwards, you get both of the days of the year they were born? I don't think so. And then this many days equals 216 weeks, exact date to date, 216 weeks, and that's that? Okay, I don't think so. Okay, and now then you add these two together, the days of the year they were born, and it comes back to them many ways. And I'm not going to show you all the ways. I have so many, and they're just phenomenal. But I'm going to show you a few. So 567 is adding both of the days of the year together. 567. Okay? 567 right here. So if you spell out 567, you not only again get 9 plus 7 is 16, the day of the year Obama was born, and 351, the day Pope was born, which isn't possible unless it was planned. You also get the day they're going to be born in the world as the false prophet and the Antichrist, which is the 7th month, 11th day. And I'm going to expand on that soon. And that is a version of this. 7th month, 5 plus 6 is 11. See this? Impossible. And then you take 567 backwards is 765. You spell that out and you get the same exact thing. The only thing difference, because the same thing, this is all the same wording, and it all works out because the middle one is the same word. Okay, but that's still amazing because try that on almost any numbers, hardly any numbers. It has to be the same number in the middle and everything else. So there's so much to this. But look at that, 216 and 351, when you put these forward or backwards. Anyway, there's a lot going on here. It's crazy. Okay, now watch. Again, first days, last days, and now I'm going to show you a little bit more of a timeline, not all of them. Again, the timeline, more detailed timeline is pinned to the top of comments on this video and my part 1. Okay, so now the eclipse day on this day, it's 17th and 18th. Okay, the first day technically with a 1, again, 9, 1 plus 9 is 10, take with 0, that's 1, or get rid of any 9s, that's 1, and then that's 1. This is 4th and 5th day, so 2 plus 2 is 4, 2 plus 3 is 5, get it? 7th day, 2 plus 5 is 7, 2 plus 6 is 8, 11th day, 2 plus 9 is 11, 12th day, 1 plus 2 is 3, and then you have 0, but that's 11th and 12th day. The last day, which I'm not going to show the third, just to make this fit in here really well and everything, I'm going to show you the 10-3, but this is one of the last days right here, which is the eclipse day, okay, and then you have the eclipse right here. Now watch. Now this, of course, being 9 is also 7, because September they got a little trick, and I've shared this for a long time. September is Latin. Again, the Pope is Latin. The pontiff is Latin, okay? He speaks in Latin, does stupid Latin stuff, and Latin rituals and stuff like that. And all the popes and everything. In Latin, septem is 7. So all the 9s are easily 7s. Okay, and what's 7? There's so many 7. For example, in The Shining was... this is the first attack day. When all the chaos happens in The Shining, it's through room 2237, 23rd of September. Get it? 23rd September. This is a weird one. 719 is the area code. I'm in Colorado. I'm in northern Colorado. 719 is the area code for Colorado Springs. Okay, Colorado Springs equals Donald John Trump. It's crazy, and that's the area code for Colorado Springs. It's weird. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. September 26 is 726. Antichrist is 726 in English gematria, English Sumerian. And there's all kinds of examples here. I mean, it goes and goes and goes. Well, how about this one? October 2nd is really octo, which is 8 in Latin. 8-2. By the way, if you don't know this, the Declaration of Independence, the real beginning of the United States wasn't July 4th. It's when they signed the agreement. They signed the Declaration of Independence. That puts a contract into play when you sign it. They signed it on 8/2/1776. But most people don't know that, so it's hidden. And now this is the last day of the United States, 8/2 and 8/3, but 8/2 on the eclipse day, and that's hiding October 2nd. So they hid October 2nd for most people. Most people look it up. That's really when the United States began. So you literally have the United States beginning on an 8/2 that's hidden, that most people don't know, because that was the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and the end of the United States is on 8/2 that's hidden because it's octo immediately means 8, but it's here. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And then there's another calendar that's also 7, and it's literally, like I said, first day, 4th, 5th day, 7th, 8th day, 11th, 12th day. It's all right here. And it starts with the 7th month, first day right here, which matches right here. And that's God's creation calendar. And I'm going to explain that here. And these line up exactly. 7th month, first day, 7th month, first day. Again, get rid of the 9 because 1 plus 9 is 10. Take away the 0. And that's literally the first day. It's all numerically perfect. Now, what is that? Okay, I'm going to have a link in the description box below to Mikal Shabbat Scriptural Studies. And I found out this years ago. I've shared this a little bit in some of my videos, but that, you know, God's real creation calendar has to do with the sun, moon, and the stars. And that's in Genesis 1:14 through 16. Okay, and that you can read all this here. In the sun, it's for the there's the greater light for the day, the lesser light to rule the night, and with the stars. And it's also used in the Bible, references from the Bible, to determine when the new year begins. And each month is a month. It's a moon cycle. And contrary to the opposite, what the enemy believes and what the Jewish calendar is based on is the dark moon. Again, darkness. We have the Father of heavenly lights, which all the lights rule the time, not shifting shadows. Okay, it's the lights. So the light of the full moon determines each new month, and the light of the sun, as in a new day, determines that day, and also, you know, the sunrise after that full moon the next day determines that month. Even the start of a year is the moon and the sunrise of the next day, the full moon or whatever. And there's many versions that have been changed, and I've looked at these versions, original Greek and Hebrew, and they say literally in the translation, new moon is the full moon, and that's been changed. And you can even find versions that still say that, versions that say new moon is full moon. And I could easily prove it in a Bible how that's the case, but I'm not going to here, whatever. But if you want to find out more information about it, I have a link in the description box to this guy's ministry. So I knew about some of this stuff, and then I found him on YouTube years ago, and then he added more to my understanding about all this stuff and how you determine all this, and more things I didn't know and all that. And then the link is to this video right here from when this year actually began on God's creation calendar. It has to do with the star Abib, which we call Spica now, and it's called Abib, which has to do with the Abib, the new or whatever. Anyway, you can watch his video and link if you want to know about that. So the first day of the year was April 24th on he calls it Pagan Day, April 24th on the Gregorian, because it's a pagan calendar. It's not God's creation calendar. Okay, and I'm going to explain how that works a little bit. So because it was a full moon on the 23rd, the day before that. So if you look at the full moons of 2024, the first full moon of this new year, and again, you'd have to, if you don't know this already, you can go to this. The link is in the description box below, like I said. The first full moon of the year was this full moon. The next day, the sunrise, again, the sun determines the day. The sunrise of the next day was the 24th, and that begins the new year. But so we have first month going to the second month going to the third month going to the fourth month going to the fifth month going to the sixth month, and then the sixth month going into the seventh month is by the full moon that happened on 17/18. Sometimes it's a 2-day event because of when it happens and how long it is and all that stuff. In this case, it was a 2-day event. A partial lunar eclipse it's going to be, it was. Well, in my mind it was, because I already know about this stuff and I'm way ahead of it, thankfully. Partial lunar eclipse 17th and 18th. Now, this is crazy about this. Now, this happens on some of these other dates. In fact, check this out. We have a super moon here, 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 and here. And this timeline is right in between here. Is like, hello, super moon, destruction of the United States, supermoon, right in here, right, pancaked right in the middle here. And that's a coincidence? I don't think so. Sorry. Not a coinky dink. It could be in some situations, but not this. 4 supermoons in a row, and this time I was right in the middle of those. No, I don't think so. Sorry. Wrong answer. Okay, now, it's important where you view this from to determine what day begins the new year, technically on God's creation calendar. And let me explain that. There's a lot I can explain, I won't explain because it takes too long to explain all this. And I'll let you give that to Michael Shabbat, Scriptural Studies, to do if you want to know more about that and watch that video or any of his videos you want. Okay, but as far as this goes, this is an aspect he probably doesn't know because he's not sharing it. And so, but it's determined by where you view it from, and the elite know this. Israel is a big deal, but I'm going to talk about from the United States. So we have the Golden Gate in Israel, in Jerusalem, and that's important. The Golden Gate, there's a Golden Gate around Jerusalem. There's a gates around Jerusalem, and there's a Golden Gate, and that's really important. Now, there's a Golden Gate on the other side of the world, and that is in San Francisco. Okay, and that it determines that's in the western sky. In fact, this is a piece of artwork with relief and everything that is in a Masonic temple. And I was first alerted to this by a Freemason who converted to Christianity. It was an amazing guy. I'm not going to say anything about who he is or anything like that. I'm just going to stay away from all that. But he shared with me who he was and his famous family and all this kind of stuff. And he sent me all kinds of details on who he was and proved it. Because he says, I want to prove before I tell you all the stuff about this. And that you know stuff that even Freemasons don't know, 33-degree Masons don't know. He's like, how do you know? He says, you can only know it from Jesus. And because I know Jesus now, and he's showing me all the stuff, and giving me dreams and all the stuff he was saying. And he's told me about this thing that's in one of their halls. And they've been taught about the birth of Sirius. And then but I didn't know much about that. And I didn't ask him to expound on that. So I should have asked him to expound. I haven't talked to him for a long time now. He disconnected from me because he didn't want a bunch of crud coming to me, because he was on a Minute to Midnight channel on YouTube and knows him, and all kinds of things happened to him from the people that he seceded from that were Freemasons, and they went after him and this guy at Minute to Midnight. He goes, and you have kids and stuff. He goes, I can't talk to you anymore. I don't want to bring this stuff on you because they were trying to kill me because I went out of this, and you can't leave. Once you're in Freemasonry, you cannot leave. They will either destroy you financially and with reputation and all that stuff, or they will kill you off and say it looked like a suicide or something like that. And that's how this stuff works. Look at the skull and bones on the western. And he just told me a little bit. Said you view it from the western sky, and this is skull and bones here on the western sky. You have north, east, south, western, and this is the birth of Sirius between 2 towers. Now, this depiction is in a lot of movies that people don't realize. Even in 9-1-1, there was a dog named Sirius that died. You can look this up. And there's even pictures of him, this dog in between the 2 towers, and it's the birth of Sirius. And again, look at what that is. The Sirius disappears in the night sky in San Francisco, or in California, basically, or that western sky from many vantage points in the western sky. And then it reappears 77 days later, and that's the birth of Sirius on August 8th. I'm not getting into all that, but anyway. And that these towers represent the Golden Gate Bridge. That's why they have the Golden Gate Bridge, because it's telling them from the birth of Sirius how many. And I could get into all this stuff. That's not what I'm trying to do right now. Then how many certain amount of days from that is the opening of the Golden Gate. Okay, so but just to show you that. So basically, if you're looking from a certain spot, which is an island, I'm not going to get into that either because it's a lot of explanation. It's so much. From an island in San Francisco, and you're looking at the Golden Gate Bridge. This is a rough depiction of it. The birth of Sirius happens at a certain point. See the 2 towers? These are literally called towers. They could be called anything, but they're called towers. See the 2 towers? Birth of Sirius right here. Oops, right here. Okay, and that was on August 8th. So that shows you what I'm saying and why I'm viewing it from here. Because, so I'm viewing this occurrence of this full moon on the 6th month to begin the 7th month on God's creation calendar from here. Now, what happens when you do this? So that was the full moon. The fullest moon is at 7:34. It starts. It recurs. Starts then. Okay. And by the way, harvest moon just happens to be in gematria 9. 8 plus 8 plus 2 is 18, 9/18. And that harvest moon is on 9/18. And that's a coincidence? I don't think so. And then it's also can be called a corn moon. Corn moon in gematria just happens to be 9. 1 plus 17 is 18. So harvest moon is 9/18 and corn moon equals 9/18. And those have nothing to do with this coming 9/18. Please. This is, again, these things are designed for this time. I'm saying, if this is the time, okay? If it's not, it's going to be designed for some other time that has exact same numerology in some other form. So let's say it was 10/17, but that wouldn't make sense. But I'm just saying, or maybe it was 10/8 plus 17 again. Anyway, whatever. Okay, which is the cutoff point? And then 10/9/18. Anyway, whatever. Okay. So when you view this from this particular spot here, and then the moon becomes full right here, it goes up in the sky like this. So this is the light of the night. Okay, it's coming around like this, and that's exactly 7:34, like I showed you earlier over here. Oh, right here, 7:34. Okay, 7:34 right here, and this is basically from San Francisco, and then boom, like this. It's going like this. Now watch. When you get to the moon coming down here, this is still the light of the night. The sun has already come up, so the light of the night is still governing, and the sun's coming up on September 18th. So what that means is, and Michael Shabbat doesn't know this because the Lord told me. He says, "I'm telling you for the first time that you have to wait. That it's the light of the next day because So that becomes that day. So the full moon is through this day." And even though it's through this day right here, and you'll see it in the above the horizon. Even though see this imagery right here, this is just general imagery. It has nothing to do with this area. It's just general imagery that they have. And this is a little bit too high, but if you look at the normal horizon, it looks just like that. Okay, over here. So the moon's way above the horizon right here, and the sun's already up. So it's the next day is the first day, the 19th. So the full moon literally goes from the 17th to the 18th, and then you count the next day after that. Being the sunrise of the next day is the first day. So 9/18 is still the full moon, 17 and 18, and then the sunrise of the next day is 9/19, the first day. On God's creation calendar, that's 7/1. So, and that matches the great going of 7/19. It's so crazy how this is. It matches up perfectly, 7/1 and 7/1. So after the full moon on the 18th, and the eclipse, it's also an eclipse. Then the sunrise of the next day is 7/1. It starts the 7th month and first day, and it matches 100%. Now I've done research. I haven't had time to do research to see how many of these have been in the past. They've been 7/1 and 7/1, but it's super rare. It's super rare, super rare. I mean, we're talking about years and years and years rare for these two to match up like this, be a first day and a 7th month. It's crazy. And why this is important, I'll show you at some point here. So now let's get into iPad Goat and some of the reasons why this is. And I'm getting into some numerology with iPad Goat first, and then the symbolism and the numerology in the details of the symbolism. So first of all, this is an IMDb, okay, the database for movies that's on the internet, okay, IMDb. So they have a description of iPad Goat in IMDb. It says iPad Goat 2 is an animated film brimming with silent messages and esoteric symbolism. Well, yeah, silent messages, exactly right. At least they admit this anonymous person. At least they admitted that. They don't admit that it's future 9/11s. It's did I just say that? Okay. Anyway, I'm already shadow banned and probably future 9/1 and then ones, and then it's also the birth of the Antichrist, and that's what it shows in that. While the movie has no dialogue, each symbol tells a piece of a story that covers a field of history. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Anyway, blah blah. This person who did this probably was somebody inspired by, not probably, someone inspired by a demon, either someone involved in that, or someone just got a similar demon, then they communicate to each other demonically, okay? And so that equals this whole thing right here. You can't see the whole thing, but it's all there. And all that whole thing here equals, in English Sumerian, 17922. Do you see something here right away? Do you see 9/22/17 right here? The day the Pope and Obama met? See that? That's already right here. This is nuts. This is nuts. And then you have 9/22/20, and then this is 6, and 6 is 24. 9/22/2024, and those are 5 years apart. Wait, no, sorry. This is one. I'm sorry. I take that back. That's not when the Pope and Obama met. That's the That's the first day of Rosh Hashanah on the Jewish calendar 5 years ago. 7 years ago. Wow, am I with it here? 7 years ago. And then this is going to be when the first attack day happens. But there's more here. So if you go like this, if you take bring this down and bring this down, we're going to take this too, because these relate to each other, or they work together. Okay, and that's the Lord showed me a few years ago, that the regular English and Sumerian and other ciphers work with their reverse. Okay, so you put this 2 right here, and now we're going to split this 2 up. We're going to make it these numbers again, and then 2 is going to become 1 and 1, because you can do that. I mean, you can split up any numbers, you can switch them and stuff, but you've got to keep the same number value. But when you put them side by side, they change number values. But they have to stay the same. Like, I can't switch this out with a 2 or switch this out with an 8 or something like that. It's got to make logical sense. So 2 becomes 1 and 1. So watch this. So they bring that down again. So you literally have this and that. Okay, and we have this with a 1 and this with a 1 here. Okay, and what is that? 9/23, 2017 right here, and 9/23, and then O is 15 or 6, and 6 is hiding 2 plus 4. So we have 9/23. Not only do you have 9/22/17 and 9/22/2026 right here, we also have 9/23/2017 and 9/23/24. So we have 22, 9/22, and 23, the days of Rosh Hashanah and the Revelation 12 sign, which was in the last day of Rosh Hashanah in the Jewish calendar, regular Jewish calendar. We also have the day that the first attack day is going to be, the 22nd of September and the 23rd of September of 2026 and 2024 and 24. Same year, but just said differently. 2 and then 6 is 2 plus 4, 2224 or 2024 and 24. Crazy. And there's more. There's more confirming this year and this date that's coming. Everything I'm talking about. Now you add these 2 together. What happens when you add these 2 together? You get this number. What is this? What's this hiding? I thought when I first found this that this was the eclipse day. But the eclipse day, the Great American Eclipse that happened in April, on April 8th, 24, is really silently signaling not only Obama's birthday on the 4th of August, 24, he's going to be 63 or 3 6s. Also, and many other things, is also 8 plus 4. 8 plus 4? 4 plus 8 is 12, and you keep the 1 and 2 on either side of it, and you literally have 10 to 24, or 10 to 24. See how you do that? Or 4 plus 8 is 12, and then just keep these on either side, and with the 0 in the middle of whatever that ends up being, just so it's easy to understand. And then now we're taking this number plus this number backwards. So we go this number plus this number backwards. So 20,922 plus 22,971 equals that number, 43,893. And see this 9 right here? This 9 goes right there. And then 4 plus 3 plus 8 plus 3 is 18. 9/18 the first day, and 10/2/24. 9/18 to 10/2/24. And that's all hidden in here. Are you kidding me? How is this even possible? There's no way this is possible. Everything I'm saying is all in here. This goes first day, the fourth and fifth day, and the last day in the timeline. And it's all here. Because this is what this is about. The first attack day, the first day, and the last day. And that's what iPad Code is really particularly programming people. They have no idea. And I'm going to show you some examples of that. In this video, some crazy examples of that. And then we have this. Listen, back in 2015, actually in May, when the Lord first gave me some visions and dreams of what was coming in the future, and I had no idea it was going to be 9+ years later. Oh my goodness. I would have probably shot myself in the head. No, I'm just kidding. Something extreme maybe like that. I don't know if I had any idea what I was going to go through to get to this day. That's why he doesn't show you until he plays it out over years. Anyway, of course I'm just being silly, but it's also very true. Both. Okay, so anyway, this blood moon tetrad, by the way, at that time we showed dreams and vision and all this stuff, and then the first thing he said to me, I was like, well, what do I do to look into this stuff, and then how do I share this with people? First thing he said to me was blood moons. And he said that around in between these two here, and we literally watched this through a telescope. This one right here, which is another reason why this is significant. We didn't see any of these, didn't even know about this. He said blood moons. I was like, and then I looked up then I had a lady that told me about blood moons years before this, and I remember some guy named Mark saying about the blood moons. A Jewish guy named Mark saying about blood moons and everything are coming in 2014, 2015. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I got to this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm right in here. What's happening? What's going on? And then I realized since then, years ago, now with way after that, but years ago, that this is a center point, and there's 266 days from this center point to this last one, 266 days from this center point to this last one, and that's the gestation period of twins, 266 days and 266 days. By the way, the Pope's the 266 Pope, and Obama is 666, or 2 6s and 1 6. So the birth of the nugget and the false nugget. Okay, so both Antichrist nugget and the false nuggets are both births depicted right here. And also, in a sense, the good child and the bad child, the Antichrist, and then the faithful child, the man child is going to be taken up to heaven. Multiple things. But watch this. If you go from 928 this day right here to 928 2024, before Stinky B.O. and the false prophet are both born on 929, this is a closeout of a 9-year stint that is birthing, finality, and judgment is what number 9 is, the biblical number for 9, what it means. That's exactly 9 years later, and that number 9 is birthing, finality, and judgment. The next day is the judgment of 2 mega tsunamis hitting both coasts and millions of people being killed, and that's when lightning falls from heaven. Barack Obama, Satan is kicked out of heaven through the silver gate and enters Stinky B.O.'s dead body because he's going to die 4 days earlier, which is with the reported day 3 days earlier, just like Jesus in a sense. He's going to be the false Jesus. Anyway, also, that's also 923 because they met 3 days earlier. 5 days earlier, 5 to 6 days earlier on 922 and 923, like I showed you in 2015, and 9 years later is the first attack day of 922, 923, 2024. Anyway, now I'm losing my voice here. I need a drink. Okay, my jug of water. Okay, anyway, so I want to share this with people that have been faithful this whole 9 years, and even if you came in during this time with the Lord, or show you the end time stuff, or whatever, or you've been born again believer a certain amount of time and all that. Wow, watch this. So from not only is this 9 years, from there to there, this time of judgment is over. Or time of this period where judgment's about to begin on the next day is not only 9 years, but it's 3,288 days. Now remember Strong's Concordance, the thing I showed you with Barack Obama in it? Okay, Barack Obama. Watch this. Are you ready? For those who've been faithful, I think you're going to really appreciate this. 3288 in Hebrew is wariness, faintness. And man, I identify with that. And I know a lot of you do. The ones that are faithful. And even more detailed is fatigue. Utterly exhausted. The faithful are utterly exhausted. We've definitely been put through the ringer, and we've trusted, and it's just really hard. Man, this is for you. This is from the Lord to you. He knows. And guess what? The day after that is the most faithful's redemption. 29, which is 929, which is 9. 2 plus 9 is 1 and 1. Or 9, 1 and then 1. I won't say that number again. Anyway, it's crazy. And then this from the center point here, which symbolizes a birth of twins, to 929 just happens to be 8 years, 88 weeks, 8 plus 8 days. Or, which is by the way, 9 is the number of judgment and birthing and all that. 8 is the number of new beginnings. New beginnings. We're going to have a new beginning right here. 88 weeks, 8 years, 88 weeks, and 8 plus 8 days. Or 4 plus 4 years, 44 plus 44 weeks, and 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 days. And the Stinky B.O. is the 44th president. Lucifer equals 444. Anyway, I hope you get the point there. Anyway, so now watch this. This is the date. Going back to iPad Goat, I had to show you some other stuff. When iPad Goat was released, apparently, it actually was shown to Freemasons and was called the Plan. According to this Freemason I talked to years ago. I was talking about 32nd degree Mason before he became a 33rd degree Mason. He got dreams and visions from the Lord Jesus. From that day to this day of that, the judgment will begin the next day, in a sense, is 12 years, 12 weeks, and 12 days from the release of iPad Goat. And that's also 6 plus 6 years, 6 plus 6 weeks, and 6 plus 6 days. Because, by the way, if you didn't know, iPad Goat 2 or iPad Goat II is the way they do it, equals 666. And there's a barcode on that Goat, which is 666. And that's all that stuff. Now, watch this. So if you go from iPad Go release date to the Eclipse day, okay, this day literally is hiding this day. Watch. Again, remember upside down and backwards and all this stuff. Now watch. What's 6? 6 upside down and backwards. Oops. Oh yeah, I was saying, remember opposites, backwards, upside down and backwards, okay? 6 is upside down and backwards, hiding 9. And remember, with 9, you can get rid of any 9 you want. Okay? Now watch this. 2, 2nd of October, 2nd of October, this is October backwards, 2024. When you get rid of this 9, because you just flip it, the 6 to a 9 easily, backwards is the 2nd of August, 2024. August 2nd, 2024. October, wow. Sorry, October. I think in the 8s and stuff, because that's what it ultimately is. Anyway, October, 2nd of October, 2024, backwards, get rid of the 9, October 2nd, or 2nd of October, 2024. Look at that. It's crazy. That's just some of the things that they do. Now we're going to take from the day it was released to this date again, and we get 147 months, 1 week, and 1 day. What's showing right here? Do you remember this? Okay, remember this? This day, the 7th month, 14th day, is right here, this eclipse day, which was that day. Okay, and so it's a kind of a mirror date, 7/14 and 7/11. So this is the 7th month, 11th day, or 7, 2 plus 9 is 11. Or 7th month, 11 days later, 7/11. Like the stores you go into, there's a reason for stores in the United States that are called 7-Elevens. And the reason why, it was originally a Jewish owner that was a Kabbalist. 7-Eleven come up with the 7-Eleven name at some point, because ultimately that's the birth of the Antichrist. On God's creation calendar and a Roman calendar, 2 plus 9 is 11. 7 September 11. Got it? Crazy. Wow. Hopefully that makes sense. It's crazy right there. Bam. Okay. Now, another thing about this is on God's creation calendar, I've seen this 777 and so much predictive programming. I'm going to show you one example of this, because it's the false number of the false god, Stinky B.O. He's the false god, 777. God is 777 in different ways. Even Jehovah in Hebrew, modern Hebrew, looks like 777. If it's spelled in Hebrew, it looks like 77, or 717 or 777. But he's the false 777. Why? Because it's 7th month, and then 7th day right here, the 25th, or the 7th day of God's creation calendar, is 7th month, 7th day, plus 7. 7 plus this is 7/14, or 14 7 plus 7. 7 months, 7th day is his death. 7th month, 7 days is death. 7 days later is this eclipse, which has to do with heralding his birth is coming just after that. He is 777. To confirm that in some different predictive programming, I'm going to use one example because I don't have time to go through a lot of stuff, because I'm going to keep going here. Watch. Dow drops record 777 points. Look at the day this happened. Not only is it September 29th, that's his birth this year, lightning falling from heaven, September 29th, it's also the eclipse day. How so, you may ask? Well, because that year, September 29th, 2008, was on the regular Jewish calendar in 5768 on Elul, was the 29th of Elul. See, September 29th, 2008 was 29th of Elul. Okay, now watch. What is the eclipse day on the Jewish calendar this year? See the eclipse day right here, which is 7/14 or 10/2, which is 7/77 or 7/14. 10-2. What is the Jewish day for this year? 29th of Elul. So 777, okay, or 777 right here on the 29th of Elul, that year is 777 right here on this day. 7 and 7 plus 7 is 714 or 777. See how this works? There's all kinds of examples of this all over. I can show you a lot of examples. And on this day, how it lands on this day. It's crazy. Confirming that is God's creation calendar. Seventh month, 7th day, he dies, 7th, then another 7 days is the sign. The eclipse. So this is the first scene in iPad Goat. It's rolling through. The goat's about to pop his head out. If you're not familiar with iPad Goat, it's an occultic video done by Louis Lefebvre with Helio Font that made it. And he did some Lord of the Rings, like he was a main animator for Gollum and Lord of the Rings. And he's done some other big time animation stuff. And he had his own company called Helio Font, and he made this demonic video, which according to 2 different Freemasons I've talked to, is the plan. And it was shown back in 2008 before it was released in 2012 to lots of Freemasons all over the world, and told this was the plan. And it was hidden in a so-called cartoon, so people wouldn't think there's much to it. A lot of people wouldn't, but people who really look at it and have some discernment can figure out it's a bunch of puzzles. Each scene is a timeline. It's like the Devil's Book of Revelation, but in a timeline puzzle, or in a puzzle, in a video puzzle or a movie puzzle. If that makes sense. There's a lot of ways I can describe it. It's about 7 minutes long, and it basically depicts all kinds of scenes in this timeline I'm talking about in my timeline. And over time, I figured out that all these events are shown, and I've also predicted about 60 different events that have happened, that the iPad Go shows, and I showed you how it showed that ahead of time, and then they've already happened. I mean, some I predicted in advance, some have already been predicted, and they showed it late. They showed it earlier. They already happened. Then when you look back at iPad Go, they showed it way back then, but they happened in maybe 2017, 2018, 2019, but this was released in 2012. Okay, so if that makes sense. So maybe I'm not explaining it very well, but anyway, so this is a massive indicator for, and then a lot, as I'm going to show you a lot of things, and I'm going to show you a few things here, but in a lot of my videos I show how this plays off a lot of things in media, and those things in media play off this, like goats and I mean all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. So many things, and I've shown that over the years of my videos, how, and proven it basically how that's the case. Now watch this opening scene. The goat's about to pop his head out, and he pops his head out right there. Well, there's something going on in this scene. And now I know what it is completely because of the eclipses. It's crazy. Now watch this. I'm going to go take that. Let's go back a little bit before he pops his head out. And then we're going to flip it upside down and backwards. Again, upside down and backwards. Now watch this. Oh, gosh, I thought I knew what this was. And now I knew it had to do with full moons. The 6th full moon of the year. The next day after the 6th full moon of the year is 9/18. 9/17/9/18. Okay. And then see this is the annular eclipse. The 6th full moon of the year on God's creation calendar is 9/18, okay, and then 9/19 begins the first day, but that's on the 18th going into the 19th. And then this is the annual eclipse right here. This is the annual eclipse on this little knob thing that basically insulates electric fence from getting anything else than the electric fence. And they show the annual eclipse right on this. You can watch this and see this yourself. And that is on 10/2. And what's right in the middle? What's one of the events? It's more closer to over here than over here, but it's in between these two events. It's what we would call 9, 1, and then 1. See this 9 right here? It's a 9, and then we have 1 and then 1. 9, 1, and then 1 is 929. 929 is 2 plus 9 is 1 and then 1. Or 11. 2 plus 9 is 11, or 9, 1, and then 1. Get it? 9. This is a 9 right here. This part's hidden by this hole. See, they do sneaky little things all over the place. What I found in here is incredible. Some of the stuff that's sneaky. And I'm going to show you some of these things in this videos. It's nuts. Okay, so that is a timeline right there. And then it cuts to a different scene. That's another timeline. Cuts to a different scene. That's another timeline with other events and other things that have already happened and are going to happen. The ultimate timeline, which is the one that's about to happen, that's going to dismantle the United States and birth the Antichrist, Stinky B.O., and his false prophet. Robo-Pope, the Pope on a rope. Okay, and then just to make this point even more, see, this is the portal, opening of the portal, and then this is God's portal, and the goat, Satan's going to come out of this portal, okay? But also, CERN's going to open a portal. If they've already opened, I've shown video of this, they've opened portals all over the world, and weird spirals and all kinds of stuff that happened. And they were found on September 29th, see, September 29th, and a portal, and they opened portals, get it? Okay, but watch this. So from September 29th to this one coming up here with the portal, the Golden Gate, or the Silver Gate's going to open up, and I call it the Satan's going to be pooped out of the Silver Gate, okay, falling to the ground, is 70 years. 70 is huge in the Bible. If you know the Bible at all, 70 has a lot to do with Israel and Jerusalem, and even the age of the 70 years for man and all this kind of stuff. And with strength, it's 80 years. So, I mean, the 70s, and God's into sevens and all this stuff. I just don't know what I'm talking about right now. I'm trying to speak here. Okay, 70 years. So that just happens to be 70 years later. And then even more than that, well, let me show you this first. So look at this. September is 9. 9 plus 5 plus 4 is 18. And then watch this. 1 plus 9 is 10, and then we have 2. So literally in this is 9:18 and 10:2. And the one that's in the middle, September 29th, that was right over here. Oop, let me just do this. Right here. See? Right in here. And then we also have 70 years is also from this date to this date. It's also represented by days and months. Now remember, we have first day, last day hidden in here. Again, how do I know this? Because the Lord led me to this, to look at this, and I'm getting better and better at discerning this, finding this stuff in things. Otherwise, how would anybody find this? I don't know how. I mean, I couldn't find it before until the Lord led me to it. And then showed me how to see. I've just learned how to see things. I've learned how to see blonde, brunette, redhead instead of the Matrix. It's crazy. Now watch this. 9. 6 plus 5 plus 5 plus 2 is 18. Okay? And then 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 is 10 and 2. 10 plus 2. And then this is an O, and O is hiding 15, or 6, and 6 is 2 plus 4. Oop. Oh, hold on. Oh, 2 plus 4. That got knocked down there. I don't know. This application, man. Hold on. What's going on here? I'm trying to figure this out. Whoa! Okay, that's not what I wanted. I'm trying to... okay, this application is messed up a little bit. Anyway, what's going on here? I'm trying to figure out something. I'm trying to pause something here, and I can't... This is weird. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, wow. I just clicked on something. This program's freaking out on me. Anyway, I'll keep going here, and then hopefully I can figure out what's going on. My way of stopping my video just disappeared. So I'm just going to keep going here. So basically, I'm going to show you some different things in iPad Goat. There's so much more I can show you, but I'm going to keep this at not a 5-hour video, but just hopefully closer to a 2-hour video. Right here you have this. Right here you have this guard and its guard dog. Okay, because this is a concentration camp. That's one of the things you can call it. So prison guard and guard dog is literally, and I'm just going to do this, show you 2. 1 plus 9 is 10. 2/10 or 2nd of October. Get rid of the 9, 24. And then, like I said, this looks like a concentration camp. And then we have, what do we have right here? We have 1 plus 6 plus 5 is 12. Remember, 12 is 10 and 2, or 102, and that's October 2nd, or 10. 5 plus 6, 6 plus 5 is 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. 102, October 2nd, 24. And it just happens to be that is the 275th day of the year. 275th day of the year is October 2nd, 24. This year, only on a leap year. Otherwise, it's a different number. It's crazy. And then Wolf is, for example, is 8/4. 3 plus 5 is 8/4. Remember, 8/4 is 12. 12 is 10 and 2. And 24. Again, we add 9, 2 stays the same. Get rid of this 9. It's all over here. Now, watch this. So all this imagery has to do with this guy because it's in the scene. And it's all about this because that's ultimately what it's about, the birth of the Antichrist and his false prophet. Okay, so this is one of the things in here, as well as the things I've shown already, and there's many more, is this goat wearing a bell, or you could say goat with a bell. Either way, again, 9 plus 1 is 10, October 2nd. 16 plus 8 is 24, October 2nd, 24. Again, now what's this? This is 9 plus 8 is 17 and 4. So it's not only 84. Remember, 84 is 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 is 10 plus 2, or October 2nd. It's also October 2nd. Remember, I showed you on God's creation calendar is 7th month, 14th day. I've seen this so many times. So it's not only 8-4, and 8-4 is 12, and 12 is 10-2, or October 2nd. It's also the same day as 7th month, 14th day in God's creation calendar. Crazy. There it is. And then we have 14 plus 4 plus 6 is 24. Bam. So you see that? Hopefully it makes sense. Now look here at Lily. And I do not know what's going on with this. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm not used to this. Wow, that's weird. They did an update, and then it changed some things, as you probably know how things go with that. And then it just, things were different, and something disappeared. I couldn't figure, okay, now it's back. So I can actually stop the video when I need to. I wasn't sure what to do. Anyway, okay, so, hey, this is live. Okay, it's great. So here's a scene from iPad Goat, a very famous scene, if you know iPad Goat at all. This is Lily. She's going to drop the apple, and the apple begins the timeline. Lily rolls basically 8 times. The 8th time it hits Obama's foot, then it goes back and forth. So it represents ultimately a 14-day with a pre-day and a post-day, 14-day timeline. There's a lot of things I can go over in this. I just don't have I'm not going to take the time. I want to show you some main things in here. Okay, so this is also the Revelation 12 sign. This is the woman clothed in the sun with the moon under her feet. The sun will be when this gets dark and you see a spotlight on her. This clothed in the sun, and the moon's under her feet. This is an eclipse. This is an annular eclipse. Hello, it's an annular eclipse. It's not just any old eclipse. It's an annular eclipse, and that's Mercury, and Mercury's right by it. As you see in my first video, you can look at that. Anyway, these are 12 stars above her head. These are 12 figures, and that's basically the enemy's depiction of the Revelation 12 sign. And the final sign, that's the birth of the Antichrist, which is 7 years later, which is this annular eclipse. Okay, and this year, this one just happens to be different because he puts his head down into his arms, so it's face forward. These all look kind of egg-shaped. This one looks perfectly round and has an upside-down 7 for the 7th month. Again, these are all puzzles, and very intricate, detailed puzzles, multi-layered puzzles. That many things mean this different, all kinds of same symbols and imagery mean all kinds of different things. So this is a moon, the 7th month, and the 7th month is the buck moon. The buck is coming out of this moon shape with the 7, upside down 7 for the 7th month. So that is July. Then Trumple, which had his biggest thing with the convention and all this stuff this year in August. He's also connected to July because he was shot in July. And I have a video that literally shows that there's an ear and something pointing to his ear right here. Look at that video a few videos ago. You say Trumple shot, and that's all on iPad Go in many places. And then this is Obama. He's one that's known to have big ears. He even said, I have big ears, and many times in interviews and all that stuff. This is the only one with a big ear or any kind of ear. He's also ultraviolet or purple. This one's colored ultraviolet, all kinds of reasons. That's September, and he's also born 9/1 and then 1, or 9/29 in September. And then this is October 2nd. So this is a timeline of events. These are the rest of the months, 12 months. This is July, August, September. This is June also, but I want to get into the reason why this is June with the yin and yang. Okay, I'll just keep going here. Okay, and then the exact opposite. So the eclipse is 10/1 and 10/2, like I explained in my first video, which you should watch. The exact opposite of 10/1 is this date, which just happened to be this year. Oh, Easter. Imagine that. Just happened to be Easter this year. Exact opposite. Again, they love opposites. So the eclipse was 10/1 and 10/2 technically. The opposite of 10/1 is 3/31, which is Easter. And notice it's behind her, so it's before earlier in the year. Okay, now watch. You ready? Boom. Now that's Easter. Okay, like I said, that's representing Easter because the opposite this year, opposite that date is Easter, and that's Easter. That's the Easter bunny, basically. Okay. Now this is crazy how the Lord. Now my brother Constantine helped me with this. Thank you, brother. He has amazing insights and stuff as well, and we bounce off stuff off each other. So hopefully I do you proud with this, brother. Okay. Now watch this. Now, this is Easter Island, like I showed you. Okay, do you see something going on here? There's something going on here. Easter. Coincidence. That's another massive coincidence. Easter Island, the eclipse going through. You have an annular eclipse that she's sitting on. There's Easter Bunny behind her. Okay, now watch this. You literally take that and you flip it backwards, and then you flip it like that. You see how this matches her hairline? And some people would go, oh, please, you're so reaching. Oh, really? Really? Well, watch. Because this is how intricate this is. This is how demonic this is. And I've uncovered massive stuff. Like on the East Coast, where Washington, D.C. is, a confluence of those states right there around Washington, D.C. is old woman's face, if you look at it really clearly on a map. And that's the old woman in the tower. And the tower's positioned on a body that's right, that is the East Coast. And where the tower is right in the position of Washington, D.C. And the old woman that's depicted in the tower in iPad Goat is literally the face that you see if you zoom out from the East Coast and right around Washington, D.C. You can see these confluence of different states. You see the old woman in the landscape on the face from the shoreline to the... It's just crazy. It's crazy. And I got help with that one also with a friend of mine as well. And anyway, it's awesome. There's so many crazy things in here. And that's Babylon. That's the hub of Babylon. That is the harlot, Washington, D.C. That's on Maryland, on the border of Maryland and Virginia, or Virginia and Maryland. Virgin Mary. Virginia, Maryland, Virgin Mary, the false Virgin Mary, the whore of Babylon, who's going to birth the false Christ. That is a president. Anyway, there's so much. Okay, now watch this. That's Easter. How would these possibly relate besides this curve? Oh, a lot of ways. In fact, I haven't even started all the research I could have done. I had to stop to put this out so people can see this before this stuff happens. I can spend so much time researching. I'm sure I'll find even more stuff than what I already have right now. And what I have is a doozy right now. Boom. Now watch. This is a baseline to this curve. We're going to throw another base. We're going to do a perpendicular line to this baseline to this curve, which looks just like this curve. We do a perpendicular line, which is going to cut the Easter bunny right in half. Right through his midsection right here. His body comes down here. Right through we're going to cut him in half. Now we're going to do the same baseline through this, another baseline right there, because it's a little bit bigger, because I could have shrunk it down, but you can't really read this or see this very well. So do another baseline, same angle, and we're going to do a perpendicular line at the same spot, right at this angle right here, right at this angle right here, same spot, and that, you can't see it very well, but it cuts right through Easter Island. It cuts through Easter Island, it cuts through the Easter Bunny, through this curve, or through that curve, or through this baseline with a perpendicular line. Incredible. And that's not all, folks. Red Rose and Lily's hair in gematria is 266 and 1596. There's so much in these numbers, but first of all, we got the 266th Pope, the birth of the 266th Pope, and Stinky BO is 666, the Antichrist, or 2 6s and 1 6. And I'm not going to get into what all this is right now. I'm just not going to, because it's going to take a while. And then that exactly matches, so that's Red Rose and Lily's hair, and its exact position over here as the Falkland Islands, right here. Boom, Rose and Falkland Islands equal Red Rose and Lily's hair, and that's why you would describe it. Red Rose. And believe it or not, you could describe it in different ways as well, and it would still match other versions of this. That's how this stuff works. I've shown it many times. Other ways of describing this and different things in gematria, that's how intricate this stuff is. You could describe, like this could be white bunny or white rabbit. It's going to be very similar to the same gematria as it is with Easter bunny, or like I shared in my first video, bunny behind, or rabbit behind, or bunny behind, or whatever. So anyway, and I showed all that. Anyway, let's keep going. And then so the Falkland Islands, which are over here, which is where the Red Rose is, they're originally called Islas Malvinas. Islas, Island of Malvinas. Okay, and what does Malvinas mean? Malvinas comes from the etymology of Malvina, or Malvina is from Malvinas. Malvina is a feminine name derived from the Scottish Gaelic Milamin, meaning of smooth brow. Look at this. This line that goes to Falkland Islands goes over her smooth brow. And that's a coincidence? A massive off-the-charts coincidence? This is a coincidence? That's a coincidence going through Easter Bunny and Easter Island? Please, this is how intricate this stuff is. And that's just the stuff I'm sharing. There's so much stuff, other stuff I found, and I'm going to share some stuff with you right now, but there's many other things. And there's things I haven't even found. Things I've found over the years that have blown people away and keep people watching me for years. And there's stuff that, anyway, keep going. Now, this scene I found years ago, and I'm like, okay, this is an island. There's a few other scenes that allude to that. This is an island in the middle of water. It's like, and there's a tower. What island is this? What could he possibly be talking about? And then a few years ago, I found this. He's dancing. This character is switching different faces. He's dancing, and I think it's an Olympic flame, a torch right here, because we just had the Olympics, and then that's right before this is going to happen. And I'm not getting into all that right now because it'll be another 2-hour video. And why see this figure right here? See that figure right there? Okay, and then he switches to another face of a bear, and then it shows this scene again, confirming this thing. What is this thing? Let's blow it up. It is a Easter Island statue. He's on what island? What tower is he in? And what island? Easter Island. Okay? And I got other confirmations of this. And anyway, watch this. These are called Moai. Okay, Moai is what these things are called. Okay, that's in iPad Go. I'm going to show you a few other places where it is. And in Moai just happens to be in English, Sumerian, and reverse English. Look, 2nd of October, 2 plus 8 is 10. 2nd of October, 24 backwards. Are you kidding me? That's another massive off-the-charts coincidence? And these is an iPad Go? I don't think so. Look at this. In this article, there's an article, Rapa Nui, which is originally what Easter Island was called by the natives, of course. That's what they say. Between 1100 and 1500 CE, 1st of October. Again, the eclipse was 1st of October and 2nd of October. 1st of October, 15. Remember, O is 15, and O is also 1 plus 5 is 6, and 6 is hiding 2 plus 4. Or you take 1 from 5 and add it to 1, and you get 2, 4. That's how they hide stuff. 1st of October, 24, or 6, and 6 is hiding 2 plus 4. See that? How they do this? So you can't believe any of this stuff because it's all. If I were to take all this, put in gematria, it's going to have the same gematria as that. It's going to have October 2nd. But with numbers, you do it a little bit differently because you don't have to. It's harder to get this 1 and 1 with this thing with. Anyway, I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, let's keep going. In this article, they're saying that this is an artist's depiction of it, but these have bodies underground, and then they are excavating them. Whether this is true or not, they have pictures showing this. So I've seen all kinds of pictures of things showing this, and this might be real, but however, I question it when I see some other things. Some about this looks a bit hokey, but I'm not going to get into that. It may be real, okay? It may be really bad photography, but anyway, they say they excavated this, and they just happened to excavate and show the back of one of these, and it's water, and it's an annular eclipse, and it's on an eclipse path that's perfectly round and perfect. I mean, look at the medieval tools they had to create these things. There's no examples of perfectly round and perfectly curved things. This is easily could be photoshopped. This wasn't that long ago that they did this, apparently. And I mean, seriously, okay, yeah, these, but this and that, perfectly curved and everything. And then these, just something looks wonky about these pictures. The shadowing doesn't look right. It looks too lit up, like they put lights. I mean, I'm telling you, they should be, more of these people should be in shadow. And all kinds of things. They're too lit up, and this looks wonky. This looks fake. Okay, maybe some of it's real, and then they added this down here. Some guys are standing up here or whatever. I'm just telling you, I question everything, and I have a brain and I have a spiritual acuity, as I've been proven in my videos. And this is one, and the fact that this is right here showing this is again predictive programming of the annual eclipse. It goes over Easter Island that's happening here pretty soon. Are you kidding me? And I can prove it. I could literally jump, and I have all kinds of stuff about this island, about the natives, about all kinds of stuff. And it's all these numbers of August 2nd or August 1st and 2nd, 2024 or 24. It's off the charts. But it would take another 2 hours to get into that. Okay, watch this. This is the ending scene of the birth of the Antichrist. He's on the boat of Anubis because he died and went to nether world and all this stuff. And or the world of death and came back. He's on the river Styx, or all those different mythologies. Okay, boom. Now he's going to be, this is the end of iPad Goat. Again, see the annular eclipse. And then you have these rings that come out like this, and they're moving, but that's how they hide. They don't show the moon right in front. They show you hints of it, and that's a hint of an annular eclipse. Get it? Okay, now watch this. And then you see some of these, look at these monoliths here. See this? Oh, whoa, see, oh, there's an Easter Island Moai. There's a Moai right there, watch. Now if I go like that, does that look similar? See, this is how they do this. See, it looks similar, but they don't show you exactly because then it'd be too obvious. They can't tell you that there's a solar eclipse over Easter Island. That's the birth of the Antichrist. They got to kind of hint it to you, and you got to search and study and go by the Spirit of God if you really want to get truth. Most people can't figure this out without the Spirit of God. I mean, you just can't. About the Lord Jesus leading you, I mean, sorry. Good luck with that. Either you have demon power or God power. That's it. Because this is too intricate. This is too hidden. Now watch this. Now I'm going to flip this whole thing upside down and backwards. Okay, because that's how they do this. By the way, this 322 here, 322, I covered it up a little bit. All kinds of stuff going on here. Again, the eclipse right here hidden. And then watch. So you got this, and then see this kind of thing? It kind of looks similar to that. See? Forehead, nose. See? I mean, I'm telling you, this is here. These are here. I mean, they're very, and then there's another nose right there, like it's one that they have some that are laying down. I mean, believe it or not, I mean, I'm telling you it's there, but whatever. Then you have stuff like this. This is a game that sold millions of copies for years. Goat Simulator and Goat Simulator 3 in Goat Simulator 3 in Easter Island, on Easter Island. Are you kidding me? iPad Goat, Easter Island, Goat Simulator, Easter Island. Trying to say something much? Trying to say something much? I mean, seriously. I mean, this is all gematria of everything. You know, you got the... Anyway, I'm going to keep going here. And then Goat Simulator 1 was released by Windows, on Windows, the first releasing, April 1st, 2014. What does that matter? What does that matter? Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you. First of all, that's 10, 2, 10, 2. And then April's 4, 4, and 1 is 9. Get rid of 9. Or take 9 upside down backwards, 6, and 6 is 2 plus 4. 10, 2, and then that's 9. Get rid of it. Or take 9 and flip it to a 6, and 6 is 2 plus 4. 10, 2. It's also, April 1st is the opposite of the year. 91st day of the year. On that year, opposite of 10, 1, the eclipse date. 1 and 2 of day with 91 days left over. Opposites again. And it's a goat, and it's Easter Island, and it's that date of first release of Windows was 91st day of the year with this day of the eclipses, day with 91 days left over. Please. And this was the release date of Goat Simulator 1. There was no Goat Simulator 2. They went right to 3 because iPad Goat 2 takes the 2 spot. I'm telling you, believe it or not. As the Lord's telling me, they released a 1 and went right to 3 because iPad Goat has the second spot. Explain that. That's crazy. Okay, and then you have the bunny and the goat. What's that? Conflating the same idea. The two ideas, bunny and a goat. Easter Island and the goat. The goat. Who's the goat? The goat is the bunny, Bugs Bunny, and the goat. The greatest of all time, as they say in sports people. But it really means God of all things. The false God of all things. And the greatest of all time would be Stinky B.O. The black person who is, the number one dude. Okay, again, just happens to be black. A lot of people symbolize the Antichrist and are not black. But there's a lot of people, male and female, that are black that symbolize the Antichrist, especially these days. Stinky B.O. It's crazy. It's just crazy. It's all over the place. It's in every show, TV, and that's why there's so many out there. There's so many examples of black female and black male actors out there that it's just so many now. It's just so many than there ever was because Obama's about to come on the scene. Of course, the timing is impeccable. It's impeccable. Okay, but watch this: greatest of all time or God of all things, goat, God of all things. Bunny, goat. And then look, oh, it's just an eclipse hidden with a few rings, but that's an eclipse. That's the annular eclipse. And then we have this one. Oh, by the way, it's the annular eclipse in space. It's the annular eclipse in space. Are you kidding? And then what year is that going to be? That is J and A is 10 and 1. That's 2. And M is 13, or 1 plus 3 is 4. The annular eclipse in 24, the year 24. Annular eclipse in 24. And then guess what? Guess what space is? 10-2. 10-2-24 annular eclipse. I'm just going to just tell you because I'm not going to get into... I know I'm getting close to 2 hours, so I'm going to keep going here. I'm almost done. And in this Space Jam, with this, another guy in basketball that they call, right after Jordan, they call him the King. The King. And Obama's going to be the 8th king. They call him the King, LeBron James. They call him, some people say he's the greatest of all time. He's the GOAT. So you got the bunny and the goat. And you got the space, oh my God, the space eclipse, the space annular eclipse in space. Man, you got to be getting this. I mean, if you don't get this, I'm sorry. And then you have 7-7, July 7th. His death day is the 7th month, 7th day. And his birth is at the eclipse, just after the eclipse. Death day, birthday. Death day, 7-7. Remember I showed you 7-7? And then plus 7 would be 7-7-7, was the eclipse day. And it just goes and goes. So I'm going to leave it at that. I know I'm really close. And this is going to be close to 2 hours, probably a little over. So thank you from the bunny goat. So thank you. I just want to always thank the people that have supported me throughout the years. Hopefully you got something from this. I've cracked iPad Goat. I'm pretty damn confident of it. I mean, I don't see this passing. It just doesn't. The eclipse thing on both bookends, and it seriously, if this goes by, I'm done. I'm putting a fork in it. I'm all done. That's the way I would see it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So I'll leave it at that. It's a prediction, and that's it. It's not a prophecy for all you ultra religious wingnuts out there. It's just a prediction. Just like anybody would predict something like stock prices to go up, or they predict that, or they, whatever. You don't shoot the messenger. I'm the messenger telling you this stuff's coming, and I'm a watchman on the wall. And if I don't share this and warn people, blood is on my hands. That's what the Bible says. So deal with it. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. Please, 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 please. So anyway, thank you, all you who have supported me in all kinds of ways. Prayer and everything else. Positive comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you've given as well monetarily and all that, I thank you, thank you, thank you. My family thanks you. Recently, there's been a few people, some regulars and some new person that gave pretty nicely. And it was nice, but it made up for nobody else giving. I mean, virtually. There's a few people, a couple small gifts, and then the other ones, the regulars, and then one other one that I don't believe gave before. But I'm saying this because it got us to, thankfully, in the last few days and even the last week, to just cover my rent and the obligations I have for my car that I'm borrowing from a friend and all that. 2 days before I would have to be paid, and that was 2 days before, and the last bit that came in today, and I'm so thankful. I mean, it's always at the very last moment. Sometimes, I mean, most of the time, I'll say it that way. But however, those things are covered. But then now I need money. I'm literally going to have, after paying this in a couple of days, I'm going to have to buy food and stuff, and I literally technically have. $30-something after that in my account. So, I gotta buy gas and I gotta buy food for the family and all that. This is an ongoing thing all the time. So if you're able to give, I just thank you. It's so funny. Even people have problems, the ultra religious nutballs out there. Oh, you're asking for money, or even people that just can't understand that. I'm not prostituting a product, or I'm not doing, if you see an ad on my videos, it's only because I got a certain amount of views and YouTube's doing that. I'm not monetized. I've never done that. I believe that's selling out, but I'm not going to get into that. What people do between them and God is on them. I'm a person of liberty, and between you and God, I don't go here and point my fingers at people. God bless you. God bless you. Whatever you're doing, just hopefully you don't jump off a cliff, fall off a cliff by what you're doing and by your with your good so-called good intentions and all that. Whatever it is, that's between you and God. I'm not here to judge people, because that measure that you judge is going to be brought back on you. The Bible says, and what the Lord said. I mean, so I don't do that, and I love people. I'm caring about you that hates God, because I didn't like him too for most of my life. I didn't like him because I feel like he let evil happen to me if he was real. And just like Darwin, I hated him because there was a hell, so-called hell, which is not what people perceive. It is where things get destroyed, not burning forever. Fire is not a preservative; it's a destroyer. It's not a preservative. Christians are the only people that believe fire is a preservative. It's the silliest thing I've ever heard. It's not biblical at all. Beings or things might burn for a little while, but then they're gone, and that's God's lovingness. I'm sorry, but that's insane. That is, if God wants something to burn forever, that's eternal life. That's not a good life, but it's eternal life. That's a horrible, but that's an eternal life. No, things burn up, and they eventually will have an end, and that's loving. That's merciful, even for evil people and stuff. It's merciful, but the thing is, they don't exist anymore. They're burned up. They're gone. Sorry, boom. I wasn't planning to say any of this, but I feel inspired by the Lord to say this. But that's the truth. I'm sorry if you don't agree and all that stuff. And are you going to go, oh, the Bible says this? Well, I'm sorry, but that's not what the Bible says. And I know it. I know it cover to cover. And I've been researching and doing biblical research for 33 years. And hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, okay? I know I'm not going there. I hope I'm right on most of the big things. Hey, I'm not saying I'm right on everything, even most things. I'm doing the best I know, and I think I have evidence to back up everything more than most people do. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, and thank you. If you're able to give, please, I need it for my family. I mean, even though this is almost here, and I really believe this is finally here. I know I probably said that a few times. I have a lot of, I don't know how to say it, I guess. Well, listen, I wouldn't put things out for years if I didn't believe they were possible. Okay, so, and that's it. Otherwise, I couldn't put my heart and soul into stuff. And each time I put something out, the Lord showed me personally incredible things that it looks like it's possibly it. And we'll see. Again, we'll see on the first day. Some things in my timeline happen on the first day, and you'll know it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. It is on like Donkey Kong. I mean, I'm telling you. If you don't, or you're up to the fourth or fifth day, you don't see things, then it's not going to happen, probably. Most likely not going to happen. Most things are not going to happen. But they eventually will happen. I just don't know exactly what days. But the numerology will be there, and everything, and symbolism will all be there. It'll all be there. So anyway, if you're able to give, I have links in the description box below for PayPal and ZellePay. You can go, if you don't have ZellePay.com, you sign up, and it's a bank-to-bank transfer that doesn't cost anything. Every time I transfer anything or whatever, or money comes to me, the PayPal gets a chunk every single time. It's crazy. But it's convenient, it's nice, and people don't have to send checks, and it's great. But so thank you so much. I just want to thank people that have given. Thank you. I've, like I said, prayed and all this stuff. I know I'm rambling a little bit, but it's just my heart. And man, if this is not it, I don't know what is. I think I've seen right now in iPad Goat. It just all comes together. And I don't think I've never said that. It all comes together. It really makes sense with these eclipses being on bookends. It just comes together. And like I showed you with the birth of the Antichrist and his false prophet, Easter Island, Easter, behind Lily, I mean, all this stuff, it's airtight to me. But we'll see. Again, I don't know the future. I don't know. The Lord never said to me, this is it. He never will do that. He never has, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I guess. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much. God bless you. Again, look at my timeline, pinned to the top of comments. Also, at the bottom of my timeline, there's also 3 different documents. One about the 144,000, if you're not sure about that, and all the biblical references about that, and how, like, I'm one of the 144,000. People go, oh, they have to be virgins and all this stuff. They're virgins spiritually, like Apostle Paul said. He said, I wish to present you to Christ as pure and chaste virgins, pure and acceptable, pure and to Christ, or whatever. Paraphrasing for a second here. Anyway, I'm getting tired. Anyway, long video here and long day. And then stuff about the innocent children will be taken on the 5th day. All innocent innocent and children. So innocent could be an adult that has an innocent mind, like has some issues with their mental issues, up to maybe, I'm guessing 17, 18, or age of accountability, will be disappear from the planet. And that's in the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament. I got downloaded a document at the bottom of my timeline, or in the in the description box below this video, at the bottom. And then another thing is about the and anyway, look at those if you want. I'll leave it at that. I'm done. So this is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.